All right, all right, all right. Alliance family, we are on fire. The Alliance is on fire. I'm excited to host the protocol today. Big shout out to Gina Hawks for allowing me to do this. I'm honored, and thank you so much, Andy and Jane Albright, for the opportunity. It's always an honor. Today, I have the privilege of talking to you guys about a topic I'm super, super excited about. It's changed my business, and it's now changing my team's business as well. Okay, and that's how to get referrals and ERSs. And so let's get this rolling. If you are writing, take notes, record, invite somebody on the call, tell somebody else to get on this call. It's definitely going to change their business as it has mine. And so I'm going to be talking at like 1,000 miles an hour. So I hope you can keep up. All right. But my name is Bryan Rojas. I've been with the Alliance now for about 5 years. I'm going into 6 years now. And it's just been an awesome ride. I could not just, I have to give honor where the honor is due. And I could not do this without the leadership of this company. People like Andy Riddle, Andy Albright, Big Mike, just Riddle Nation. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are the real ones. And so I'm here because of y'all, because of y'all's leadership. Okay. And so one of the things that I want to talk about today is I'm super passionate about just kind of teaching people about how to attain referrals, because it's something that I struggled with for a long time. It's something that I was so insecure because I just didn't know how to do it. But also I didn't want to fail at a topic, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm super excited to be giving you value on this, and I hope it helps you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about it. I'm going to talk about the mindset, why you should get them, also building the value within like an actual referral, how to get quality referrals, and what to do with them once you've got them. All right, so I got an hour to talk about this. Let's do this. So let me start off by letting you know, like my first year in business, I was like struggling to be profitable. Okay. And my biggest thing was the first time I sat down with Andy Riddle, my biggest question was, Andy, like, I'm doing everything in my power to be profitable. Can you please help me? What is it that I need to know to be profitable in this business? What else can I be doing? What else can I do? Because I'm buying leads, I'm doing this, I'm selling, I'm dialing, I'm not letting off, I'm just doing the do. And he's like, dude, it's not what else can you be doing. It's about what are you not doing that is free that can make you more profitable in this business. I was so confused, y'all. And this is where Andy Riddle first explained to me the 4 basics. All right. And here are the 4 basics. I harp on this stuff because it's just what's changed my business, y'all. Okay. So here are the 4 basics. Learning how to get a check in a home. All right. If you don't know how to get a check in a home, become a student of that. All right. Here's the first basic. Learn how to get a check in a home. If you can't do that, talk to somebody that can show you how to get a check in a home. In other words, how to sell insurance. All right. The second basic is learning how to get ERSs. ERS stands for Emergency Response System, otherwise known as referrals, essentially. All right. Third thing is green sheets, finding safe money or annuity money that we can roll over into annuities. Okay. And then the fourth thing, hiring from the table. So when he explained this to me, y'all, I've never heard this before. I had a wall moment. And that's where I started becoming a student of the 4 basics. Learn how to get a check. And I focused all my energy after I learned how to do this on how to do this, which is ERSs. Okay. I really started taking it seriously when I had a client that died on me and I had not done the emergency response systems. So all an emergency response system is, guys, is a service that we provide that is free to the client, that if they were to pass away, all right, somebody within their network were to call me or the insurance company so that we can help the family get the life insurance paid. Okay, so it's a service, but by creating that service, you're going to get a byproduct, which is a referral. Okay, it's going to be a name and a phone number. So I had a client, his name was Charles, all right, and I sold him some insurance to cover the mortgage on the house. And I didn't do an emergency response system. And this is why it's so important to do this stuff, okay? And this client ended up dying on me 6 months after. He grabbed insurance because he was a single dad of a 17-year-old female named Nicole, and she wasn't at home when we did this. She was at school. She was 17 years old. Well, he ended up passing away on me 6 months after we did this, and Nicole didn't know who Bryan Rojas was. A year later, I get a call from Nicole because she found insurance paperwork, and she said, "Hey, did you know my dad, Charles?" I'm like, "Yeah, he passed away." And here's where, like, I really started taking this stuff seriously. The claim got paid out, but it was a year after. Here's what happened. He got this insurance to protect the mortgage on the house so that, God forbid, he were to pass away, that Nicole didn't have to leave the house. That house got foreclosed. And I got to say, I own that. I own the fact that Nicole's not living in the house anymore. And that's when I really started taking this thing seriously. Okay. And so that's my mindset. Like, an emergency response system, guys, for me is a service. All right. One of the main reasons why people struggle to get referrals is because they're trying to be transactional with their clients, and their clients feel that. So that's the reason why you'll only get 3 or 4 referrals. And in this call today, I'm going to show you how to get 15 referrals. All right. So stick with me here. So that's the first thing. An emergency response system is an actual service. Stop looking at it as a transactional situation. People feel that and can automatically lose trust on you. All right. So why get them? Well, there's 2 reasons. Number one, they are free referrals. All right. So here's the thing. These people whose numbers you're going to get, they're not asking for insurance, and no other agent is going to be calling them. All right. That's huge. There's also this thing that these contacts are coming in from your client. So there's going to be this thing called speed of trust. They're automatically going to trust you if you do it properly. All right. They're going to trust you when you call them. Does that make sense? If you were to put a price on the name and the phone number of these contacts, I would say they'd be valued at like $300 per name. All right. So here's the biggest thing for you as an agent. You doing this is not like replacing your leads. Okay. I want you to understand that most agents, when I first talk to them, they're trying to get referrals so they don't have to buy leads or they don't have to invest in their leads or invest in just getting names. No. The way I want you to think about this is, in addition to, you do this so that you can add up, you can have an addition to what you're already doing. Okay, just to supplement, not to replace. Because what I see most agents do is try to replace referrals for leads, and it's just, I don't recommend that. Okay, guys, I would just do it in addition to, so you can have overflow. The reason being is, picture this: say you got 15 referrals, all right, and you can book 6 appointments and sell 3. Well, that's an extra $3,000 a week in annual premiums. All right. You multiply that by 4 weeks, that's $12,000 in annual premiums a month, which turns over into over $144,000 in annual premiums a year. Say you're at a 55% contract, you're making an extra $80,000 a year just by implementing this into what you're already supposed to be doing. You with me? So they're high value for me. So here's the thing. ERSs for me is a necessity for the client to have, because I'm going to show you in a second what I do with the client. Most people don't know that the insurance companies keep over $1 million or $1 billion of unclaimed life insurance. All right. And I'm going to give that education to the client. So how to get quality referrals. So here's where I start. Okay. Let me share my screen with you real quick. When I'm in a client's home, here's what I'm showing them. All right. So this is my ATM. All right. And I've gone through the ATM. I've already done their green sheet and I get to this point. Okay. So I'm showing the client 3 different options and I'm asking them, hey, Billy, which one of these 3 options? So this right here, I'm saying this part right here, which one of these 3 options you think is best to see if we can get you approved? When Billy chooses the middle option, all right, I'm saying, all right, let me see your license so we can get the paperwork started. As I'm doing that, all right, simultaneously, I'm thinking of a squirrel moment. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm saying, hey, while you do that, Billy, I'm also going to get you started with your emergency response system. All right. And then I'm asking Billy, hey, do you understand do you know what that means? He's going to say no. And I know that he's going to say no. All right. So I'm letting Billy, I give Billy my ATM and I say, hey, look, read this out loud for me. The reason why I'm asking Billy to read it out loud for me is because I want Billy to be using all of his senses. I want him to use his mouth to read. I want him to use his eyes to read what he's reading. All right. And I want him to use his critical thinking. Okay. He's killing 3 birds with 1 stone. So what he is reading, let me share my screen, is this right here. So currently, there are over $1 billion in unclaimed life insurance in America. Most unclaimed life insurance is from beneficiaries not knowing that they were beneficiaries on a policy. An emergency response system is your way of making sure your death claim will be paid out immediately to your beneficiaries. All right. As he is reading that, guys, I'm setting myself up. Okay. I call it the setup. I'm setting myself up to get my 15 referrals. So if you'll see, I got my ERS sheet. Okay. And as he is reading this right here, I'm writing the numbers 1 through 15 down on my ERS sheet. All right. If you don't know where the ERS sheet is at, talk to your upline manager. He's definitely going to know where it's at. All right. But literally, as he's reading all of this, once he gets to that last word beneficiaries, simultaneously, I'm going to be done with number 15, yo. All right. So after he's done reading that, I'm just going to start asking him questions. Here's the first question I asked him. Billy, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Did you know that there is over $1 billion of unclaimed life insurance money in America? Billy is automatically going to say no. You need to learn how to ask deeper questions. So once he says no, you got to ask him, why do you think that is? Now you're getting him involved in a conversation. All right. The answer is simple. He's going to say, they're not paying out because they didn't know you died. Once he does that, I'm slapping my knees and I'm saying, that's right. And why do you think the insurance companies don't know that you died, Billy? Billy's going to say, nobody told him. Look, I've done this so many times, it never fails. Like if you just do that, it's going to work. All right. And it just makes sense to the client. You know, the insurance companies didn't pay out that life insurance because they just don't know you died, and they don't know you died because nobody told them. All right. The second part that I'm doing, the third thing that I'm doing is I'm actually taking away the beneficiaries. And here's the way I do that. Okay, guys. Billy, that's right. They don't know you told them. And we don't ever stop and think about this here, Billy. Look, I'm sitting here with you right now and nobody knows I'm here. Like your children don't know I'm here. And we don't ever stop and think, what if my children die before I do? What happens then? And then I look at Billy and I say, hey, did you know that that insurance money, that claim is still owed to your family and to your estate? That's when Billy usually gets the realization, wow, no, I didn't know that. So I created a problem, guys, but I have a solution for it. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to build value there. The number one reason why people don't like agents don't get referrals is because they're just asking, hey, who do you know that can use my service? Hey, who do you know that can use life insurance? Guys, I'm telling you, you keep doing that, you're either going to get no one or just two or three referrals. That's never going to work. You got to find something different. Okay. So learn how to build value. All right. So cool. I did that. Awesome. So here's the next step. When I tell Billy, here's what we've done. We've created a service that's free to you. All right. And it's just a network of friends that, God forbid, you were to pass away, that somebody can call me. And he's going to see this. And I already know what Billy's thinking. Here's what's Billy thinking. Okay. I don't have 15 people. All right. But he hasn't said it yet. He's going to say it as soon as I say, hey, I'm going to need 15 folks. That's when he's going to say it. Look for that cue. And it's okay. But I'm just going to overcome that objection. Here's how I overcome that objection. I'm going to take these 15 people away. Here's how I'm going to do that. All right. So, Billy, we're going to need 15 people. And here is why. If you learn how to say that, that's going to overcome the mental objection that they have in their head that I don't have 15 people, guys. Okay. Build a reason why you need 15 folks. If you build a value high enough, people will do what you want them to do on that end. All right. It never fails. The moment they hear 15 names, they're always going to say, I don't have 15 people. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Don't get discouraged. Be bold. Be courageous. All right. Let me show you how I do it. And if it helps, copy it. Here's how I do it. Billy, I'm going to need 15 people. And here's why. The first half, Billy, okay, they're going to be just like you. They don't pick up unknown phone numbers. With that being said, half of them are not going to pick up. You got rid of half of the people just like that. I throw in a little punchline just like this. Think about it, Billy. It took me 7 times to get to you, and then I start laughing. All right, make a joke. Be graceful about it too. But they get it. They know that people usually don't pick up phone numbers that they don't know who they are. It makes perfect sense. With that being said, I just got rid of half the people that he's about to give me. I get rid of the second half now. Watch what I say. So, Billy, that's the first reason why I need 15. The first half is not going to pick up. They just are not going to pick up phone numbers they don't know. Okay. The second half, these folks right here, Billy, they're either going to change their number, they're going to crack their phones, they're going to lose their phones, and if you pass away, they're not going to even remember to call me. Does that make sense, Billy? I get a buy-in from Billy. Okay, so with that being said, Billy, I'm just really looking for 3 people. Here's the deal. I don't know which one of the 3 these 15 are going to be. All right. That's how you take it away from them to make sense that we need 15 people. The moment he gives me 3, I'm like, Billy, that ain't going to work, bro. I'm just going to tell you, that ain't going to work. Like the insurance companies are not going to take that. We need 15 people. If he tells me I don't have 15 people, guys, come on. Like, let's be real. You know, if you're working a final expense lead, these jokers go bingo. They play bingo. They go to the bar. They go to church. You know what I'm saying? They got neighbors. Like, you have got to be bold if you really care. The reason I get 15 like ERSs is because I care enough to point these things out. I am not afraid of saying, bro, sure you do. Sure you got 15 people. Let me see your cell phone. I don't have a cell phone. Let me see your phone book. Let me see your Bible. I know you got names in them Bibles. You know, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, be bold, be real. People buy real. People buy you. Okay. See, here's the problem. In your mind as an agent, you think that if you do this, you are overbearing. Here's what they're thinking in their mind. If you don't do this, you don't care. When I talk to people about this like this, they know that I'm coming from a place of caring, because my mindset is I am caring. I really do care that if they pass away, guys, that this situation with Charles does not happen again. You know what I'm saying? I have to go to sleep with that every night. I don't want to do that. If one of my clients dies, I need to know so I can help that family. Y'all with me? That's my mindset. My mindset is not, I'm trying to get these 15 referrals to sell them insurance. That's not what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, I need these contacts and I need to let them know who I am so that in the event something happens to Billy, somebody can call me. So start shifting your mind. Start shifting your mind on that end, okay, guys? And you'll come out from a heart of service rather than from a heart of transaction. That's huge. All right. Now, before Billy starts right on this, I'm telling Billy, I need quality people. Here's what I say. Billy, here's what I'm going to need. I need their first name, how you know them, their relationship. I need their phone number. Billy, I need them to be local. The reason I'm saying local, guys, is because what you don't want is to get, like, let's just say Billy lives in Florida. You don't want to get somebody from North Carolina or from Utah. You want to get local people right here in Lake Wells. Why? I tell Billy, I need them to be local. Why do you think I need them to be local, Billy? And Billy will say, because they're the first ones that are going to find out. That's right. That's right, bro. So again, Billy, I need their first, last name, their relationship to you, their phone number, and again, let them be local. All right, bro? While you're doing that, Billy, I'm going to work on your paperwork. So now Billy's there. I leave him alone. All right. And Billy's there working on this stuff as I'm doing his application. All right. This is huge. If you do this properly, this is what it should look like, guys. All right. This is an actual client with actual people. I got his sisters, neighbors, grandma, bald-headed grandma, church people. I got their neighbors, friends. I got everything. This is, when you build value, this is what you're going to get. All right. So I hope that helps on that end. Now, let's talk a little bit about the next step, because you're not done here. Okay. Here's how you create even more value to your referrals. All right. So once you got the list, you need to go a step further and help Billy text every single one of these clients that you're going to be calling them. If you don't do that on the back end, when you do call them, all right, you're going to have a lot of resistance. The reason why you're getting resistance is because you're not doing this next step. So once we're done with this, all right, I'm telling them, all right, Billy, I'm going to send you a text message. All right. I'm going to send you a text message. By the way, if you want a copy of this text message that I send my clients, just text me over at 813-417-3724, and I'll have my assistant send that over to you guys. Okay. Again, area code 813-417-3724. I'll send you literally the whole template of exactly what I say, but this is what I say to Billy. This is what I text Billy over. Okay. Hello, my life insurance agent, Bryan Rojas, is going to call you on my behalf to give you information on some information. Before you ask, everything is okay. There's nothing wrong with me. I listed you as an emergency contact. He will be calling you from an 813 number. Please take his call for me. Thank you. All right, guys. I send this over to Billy's cell phone. All right. And I have him open up Christine Smith's contact, and I have them send it to him. I do it to at least 3 to 5 people because here's the reason why. If he doesn't do it with anybody else, I know that the first 5 people actually got that text message. Typically, here's what I get. If you don't do this, all right, what you'll get when you call Christine, you're going to get a lot of resistance. What I get like people waiting for my call. So when I call them and I say, hey, Christine, this is Bryan, the life insurance agent for your friend Billy. Did he call you or text you that I was going to be calling you? Said, oh, yeah. What's going on? Easy peasy. Okay, guys. So I'm setting myself up. I'm overcoming every single objection before any objection comes up. And by doing so, when I get to the point where I want to book this appointment, which I'll show you how to do, all right, it's going to be super simple, guys. You with me? All right. So I send this text over to Billy and I say, Billy, I need you to text this to every single guy. Here's why. Every single person you gave me. Here's why. I don't need them thinking that I'm a scammer or one of those windshield guys that is trying to replace your windshield. And they start laughing, okay? So they'll actually do it. If they don't know how to text, I'll actually use their phone and I'll text it for them, all right? So I'm just there trying to help the client out. I hope that makes sense on that end, all right? So I take a picture of the ERS, and I send it to Billy so he knows the contacts that he gave me. And then I also take a picture of Billy and I send it to Billy's cell phone so that he has basically all of our information. What I'm creating here is a spirit of caring, guys. And Billy feels all of this, all right? Hope that makes sense on that end. All right. So here's another thing that I bumped into when I first started doing this. I started asking my client Billy for permission to like I'll give you an example, right? So I'm talking to Billy and I say, hey Billy, so I'm gonna call them, all right, and I'm not gonna give them any personal information, all right. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let them know who I am and what insurance company you went to, so that God forbid something happens to you, that they know that they have a point of contact in me or in the insurance company. All right. Now, I will say, Billy, when I speak with Christine or Yvonne, they, because of the service I'm giving them or giving you, they might want some insurance or want to look into something like this. If they want some insurance, are you okay with me helping them out? All right. Billy's always going to say yes, because who doesn't want their friends to be helped? Okay. Typically what I'll get is like, yeah, for sure. Like, they should already have insurance, but if they don't, help them. I'm asking for permission. Here's why, because one of the things I found out on the back end is that Christine will like at some point call Billy and tell Billy, hey, your boy tried selling me insurance. That's weird. Well, Billy already knows that me and her are going to talk about it. All right. So, so that's on that end. All right. So we discussed that. Cool. So all right. So that's how I get 15 referrals. I hope that helps. Now, to call these referrals, all right, it's the second step to book an appointment from these referrals. Here's how I do it. How much time do I have? I think this is till 2:00, right? Yeah. All right. Here's how I do it. So hello. So I call the script and I say, hey, Christine, this is Bryan Rojas. I'm the agent for your brother Billy. Did he by any chance text you to let you know that I was going to be giving you a call? Christine now, because she has gotten a text message, will say, yeah. He definitely called me. Cool. Well, look, the call is for 2 reasons. All right. And I always say that it's for 2 reasons. The first reason is because Billy put you down as part of his emergency response system. And all that means, Christine, is that he trusts you to have my contact information as well as the name of the insurance company that I put him with, so that in the event that he were to pass away, you have a point of contact. Are you okay with that responsibility? More than likely, 9 out of 10% of the times, Christine is going to say, yeah, I'm okay with that. All right. So then what I'll do is I'll proceed to give Christine my phone number, as well as the name and the phone number of the insurance company. What I do then is build the value in Billy's policy. And here's how I do it. Also, Christine, in the event that that Billy was to get a cancer, heart attack, stroke, or any major organ transplant, he actually has access to his life insurance while he's alive, but he might not be in a position to let me know that he's hurting. So in that situation, will you do me a favor and call me as well? And Christine at that point will be saying, oh my God, I didn't know that. Like, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. If I'm selling the Forester's policies and the people are, and Billy is young and he has children, I'll let Christine know about the member benefits. It'll sound something like, also, by the way, the kids, if anything was to ever happen to Billy, all right, he has access to orphan benefits, meaning both of his children will get $900 a month per child until each child is 18. And then after that, they'll get grants for school. All right. So all this stuff is good stuff for Billy, but just he might forget a lot about the stuff. If anything happens to Billy, call me. The moment they hear this stuff, all this value that I'm implementing within Billy's policy, I don't even get to the last part and they're saying, well, I want something like that. All right. And so I'll lead into something like this saying, well, it's funny you say that, Christine, because while I was sitting down with Billy, we actually talked about me getting with you and going over some options outside of what you have at work or in addition to what you already have. And he did tell me you're out there in the Haines City area. Is that right? All right. So I'm just like literally overcoming an objection. The reason I'm saying, hey, he wanted me to sit down with you and go over some options outside of what you have at work or in addition to what you already have is because I'm trying to overcome that objection of, well, I already have something through work. That's the objection I'm trying to overcome. Okay. So I'm just trying to set myself up so that like I don't get any objections. And if I can overcome them before they come up, I'm in a good space. All right. So if you build the value big enough with these calls when you're calling them, it's just very easy. Out of 15 referrals, here's my numbers. I can give you my numbers. Okay. So out of 15 referrals, if I get 15 referrals, I'll speak with like half of them. Like I'll probably talk to like, let's just say 6 or 7 of them, and I'll probably book 3 of them. All right. Sometimes I book more, sometimes I book 6 and I'll sell 3. But typically I'm basically, if I'm booking 6 appointments, I'm selling half of them. All right. Those are my numbers. Some people do it better, but those are my numbers. I've been able to create just like $100,000 income just off of this alone, off of these referrals. And so it's helped my business out. You know what I mean? So I don't know if there's a way for people to ask any questions here, but that's basically it. This is how I've done it. And it takes work in the beginning. You're going to mess up a lot, but do me a favor, guys. Don't be afraid of messing up. Like, just fear is the biggest thing that like stops your growth. Okay. Like your fear of not being like, not getting it right the first time. It took me, just so you know, this was a process for me for 6 months. All right. But I became a student on it until I do this in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of what I do. It's part of the process. All right. I would encourage you to continue doing this because it'll change everything in your business. My best clients have came from levels down. Typically, like, let's just say Billy was the first guy that I met and I've gone down 15 levels deep. My best clients are like the lower, like just literally like the 4th or 5th person in Billy's branch, if that makes sense. Like I've created very good bonds. Heck, I'll tell you this much. I've hired people in my business from these folks right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's at some point it's going to start getting really fun for you. Not only will you make a lot more money, you will help a lot more people, and you will grow a bigger business. And I think that's so cool. So, hey, if you have any questions for me, why don't we do this? Here's my number. Text me real quick. Okay. Error code 813-297-7346. We have quite a bit of time. So if you have any questions, just give me a little holler real quick. Okay, so I just got a text message. It says, so I'm struggling with getting more than 8 people. So I'm struggling with getting more than 8 people on the ERS. So here's what I would recommend that you do, okay? If you're only getting 8 people on the ERS, you're probably not building the value on the referrals big enough, okay? Or you're just stopping at some point where like the client just doesn't want to give you any more. Here's what I do. I let them know it's just kind of like a requirement, okay? At least 10 people. If they give me at least 10 people, like I can put it within their file. I make it a requirement, guys. For me, it's a requirement that we do this. All right. So I'm just letting them know, look, the probabilities of like them calling me are less because you're giving me less people. All right. I can't take 8, like I can do minimum 10. So I just tell you, be bolder on that end for sure. I think I've covered everything on my notes too. Somebody just asked me, so a friend of mine, Lucky, just texted me, said, hey, Bryan, would you approach calling an older ERS that you failed to call right away? That's such a great question. Yes, I would approach them. Life has changed. Like, I'll give you an example. I had like a batch of ERSs, okay, that I didn't touch for 2 years. I'm sorry to say that. I didn't touch them for 2 years. All right. I just had so many leads and I found it. So I started calling them. Here's what I found out. The person that had gotten insurance with me had passed away. It's 2 years ago. I just started calling it like 2 weeks ago. But everybody on that list was either reaching out to me or they wanted insurance quick. So yeah, call them 100%. If you use the method just saying, hey, look, they put you down as an emergency response system, and I'm giving you a call for 2 reasons. The first reason is this. And then the second reason is while I was sitting down with them, they actually asked me if I can sit down with you and go over some options. If you keep using that, it'll book your appointments. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, Lucky, yes, I would definitely call them. So I have a text message that says, what if they only know 2 people or they don't have anyone? So if they only know 2 people, all right, I'll be very straight up with you. I don't believe that. If they tell you I only know 2 people, it's because you're not creating that value again. Okay. So before they even hit me with 2 people, and typically those 2 people that they're giving you are the beneficiaries, the beneficiary and the contingent. This is why I say, hey, look, and typically what happens is that we'll only tell our son or our daughters, and we don't ever stop and think, what if these 2 people that I love pass away before I do? What happens then? Billy, did you know that that life insurance claim is still owed to your family and to your state, even though you and those two people have died? So I take those two people away from them. And in reality, you think that people, like individuals, only know two people? Nah, that's just they don't trust you, or you're not setting yourself up right to get the referrals. Okay. Here, let me stop share screen. All right, so Dane from Treasure Island texted. Oh shoot, no. Yeah, so like somebody's asking me, what if you're there for a hospital indemnity plan and you didn't BAMFAM for a regular appointment? Guys, I actually started using hospital indemnity plans when I'm selling people. I started like putting them together. So when I call the ERSs, I'm actually telling them, yo, by the way, if in case he ever gets cancer, heart attack, or strokes, or if he's ever in a hospital, call me, because if he is ever in a hospital, for every day that he's in a hospital, he's getting $200 a day per day that he's in a hospital. That's a huge selling point. That's a huge selling point for me, man. And so like I booked 3 appointments this Monday. I booked 3 appointments in one house just by saying that. So I would just use it as a selling point, incorporate it. If you're selling IULs or if you're selling hospital indemnity plans, do that. You know what I'm saying? Give them a call. And I'll just kind of like tweak it a little bit. So obviously a hospital indemnity plan is not a life insurance, but it's a hospital indemnity plan. So you can call them for 2 reasons. You know what I'm saying? You can call them because you are their agent. And if he ever goes into the hospital, for every day that he's in the hospital, he's getting $200. Okay. And by the way, while you're sitting down with them, they told you to talk to them about it. And that's, you just got to figure out what time they're home. Let's see. So if you didn't set it up the first time, just kind of, I'm seeking clarification, Beth. How would you set this up if you didn't do it right the time? What would you say? I kind of don't get the question. If you can clarify on that. What's up, Keisha? Yeah, so like Keisha's asking me like from a hiring standpoint, when I'm sitting across this table with somebody, how do I hire somebody from an ERS? Look, I love feeling the vibes. All right. If I'm sitting down with like let's just say I'll use the name Chandrika. All right. It's one of my girls that just got licensed. Like I've known her, she's 7 levels deep from a person that gave me some referrals. Okay. So like I'm sitting down with Chandrika and I'm chilling with her, and I'm just like, she has a great fun vibe. I'm like, yo, you would kill it with this thing. I'd say that. Have you ever thought of getting your insurance license? What are you doing now for work? You're a dental assistant. You ever thought of getting your insurance license? Kind of like doing this on the side? And she's obviously going to say no. She's probably going to say yes. I'm like, well, you should think about it, because you have an amazing personality. Like I'm vibing with you right now. Like this is cool. And you're actually have a really good personality and a good attitude. Here, let's talk later on. I'll introduce you to my manager, and just edify somebody else. Edify somebody else on that end. Okay, Keisha? Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's going to be recorded, Jonathan. But if it's not, I can send you something similar. Okay, bro? Yes, Beth Ireland. Would I set up a review? Yes. I would just call them, Beth. Just like, even though you didn't set it, you can't say the wrong thing to the right people. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So I would just, Beth, here's what I would just do it. If you need a copy of the script, also guys, if you need a copy of the script, just let me know. I'll text that over to you. I'm pretty sure NAA also has it. Just whatever I can help you with, I can send you the script too. Okay, guys. So you guys can copy what I'm saying on that end. All right, guys, let's see here. Yeah, it's probably going to be recorded, Jonathan. I'm pretty sure it's being recorded. You can either get a hold of NAA or I can send you a video on it, bro. Cool. So I would say this, guys. The biggest thing, don't be afraid to mess up, okay? Just become a student of creating this skill. This is an actual skill. To create a skill, you're going to have to mess up. It's okay to mess up. Laugh about it, learn from it. All right. You will find that you will become like a beast at whatever you do, like you put your mind to, you will become a beast at. Okay. It's the part where you're not even trying that's messing with you. All right. I'm telling you, just start messing up. Just start like trying to do some of the stuff that you caught. And guys, if you have any questions, my cell phone number is area code 813-297-7346. All right. Text me if you ever have any questions. Like I can't guarantee you that I will answer the phone when you call me, but if you text me, I will always text back within 24 to 48 hours, guys. I don't mind giving you guys any inputs or anything like that. Okay. I gotcha. Cool. I think Missy, I'm pretty much done. This was awesome. Set a standard. Set a standard for yourself. If you're not getting any referrals, shoot for 10. If you're getting 7 referrals, shoot for 15. All right. You cannot mess this thing up. I'm telling you. The only way you can mess this thing up is by not trying. All right. So, guys, this is my time. Bryan Rojas, reporting live from Treasure Island, Florida. Thank you so much for all the agents that plugged in today. It was an awesome call. If there's anything I can do for you, my cell phone number, area code 813-297-7346. Text me, and I'd be glad to send you over any script I got, okay? Take care. Love you.